For this video, we're going to travel back in time to take a ride on the old Mount Dora Cannonball steam train. About 20 years ago, I had headed down to Mount Dora, Florida, so I could ride the Cannonball Express. Now, the footage you're watching right now, I filmed around 1999, 2000, something like that. For the longest time, Mount Dora had the scenic railway. Now, during this era, which you're watching the footage right now, they were operating a steam train that had been used in the 1997 feature film Rosewood. That feature film had already been filmed in Florida, and I guess the train was already located here, so they repurposed it for this scenic excursion through Mount Dora, Tavares, and Eustis. They also at the time had the Doodlebug, which was a trolley that made the same trip, and they ran the steam train pretty much on the weekends, and the Doodlebug was for the weekdays. This was such a long time ago, I don't remember the cost of admission, but I remember it being fairly inexpensive. It was really a highlight of going to Mount Dora for me. Now, this particular excursion, they closed down in 2017 permanently. So they were leasing the rails that they were operating on, and the Central Florida Railway, basically, I guess they were worried about the condition of the tracks, so now they just use it for train car storage. So pretty much what you're watching now is just a part of history now. There's no way to ride a passenger train through Mount Dora, Tavares, or Eustis anymore. So one of the fun things that I did on this trip was I walked up to the conductor and the engineer and I said, "Hey, I'm kind of a badass. Would you mind if I just stood on the front of your locomotive and filmed you coming down the rails?" And they recognized that I was indeed a badass. So they said, "Yeah, sure, that's fine. Just stand on the front of the locomotive, and we will crank up the speed to about, 80 or 90, and you'll be good." And I was like, "Cool." So the tracks that this steam train excursion ran were actually constructed way back in the late 19th century. The oldest segment for this excursion was actually originally constructed by the St. John's and Lake Eustis Railway Company between 1882 and 1883. The segment of track that this excursion used the most between Mount Dora and Tavares was originally constructed by the Sanford and Lake Eustis Railway Company between 1886 and 1887. So there's a lot of history in this area when it comes to the railroad industry. So the footage you're seeing right now was the company known as the Mount Dora Scenic Railway, and they operated from the late 1990s through, I think, around 2009. Then in 2011, there was the Tavares, Eustis, and Gulf Railroad, which operated a different steam train on these same tracks. And like I said, the final steam trains ran through here around 2017. There was a dinner train that ran with a diesel locomotive for about 2 years after that, and then in 2019, the Florida Central Railway closed these tracks to any kind of passenger train operations. So what was the bottom line for the Mount Dora Cannonball steam train? It's a huge loss. When they closed this steam train down finally in 2017, Mount Dora lost one of its largest tourist attractions. The city of Mount Dora still has a lot of art festivals and special events, but nothing really drew the people like this unique attraction. Will Mount Dora continue and go on? Sure, but it'll never be the same. Thanks for joining me on this blast from the past. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Mount Dora Cannonball Express, don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got more content just like this coming.